Just want to take a moment and thank the fine folks at Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com, the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. It says roses are red, violets are blue. Don't let a wild pube wreck you. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you with the best tools to get your jewels ready for the special occasion. The V-Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leader in below-the-waist grooming, with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com, use that promo code State of Saints. All lowercase letters, that's State of Saints, and you'll save 20% off. I recommend the Lawnmower 4.0 as well as the nose trimmer. They have so many items that you can choose from. Just go to manscaped.com, use that promo code State of Saints. You'll save 20% off. Now let's get back to the show. Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And on this edition, we're going to be talking about new head coach Dennis Allen and him trying to make some moves when it comes to the coaching ranks. And we're also going to be talking about the Saints mock draft and are the Saints drafting a quarterback? But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Dennis Allen. I had opportunity to check out the interview that Dennis Allen conducted on several outlets, WWL, also on NewOrleansSaints.com. Shouts out to my guy, JD John DeShazer, all those guys at WWL, and also on the NewOrleansSaints.com or YouTube channel. He went about 30 plus minutes, and he talked about some of the things that he wants the Saints to be.
Look, I want the offense I want to be a physical offense. I want to be able to run the football. I want to be able to create explosive plays. I want to be a smart offense that doesn't have a lot of negative plays. I want to protect the football, and I want to be good situationally. And there's a lot of different ways that you can go about doing that. So we're going to be a good offense. We're going to be able to put some points on the board. We're going to be explosive. We're going to be exciting.
So as you can see, Dennis Allen is hitting the ground running. He's ready to rock and roll. He's ready to really put his stamp on this team. And this is something that I have been telling New Orleans Saints fans, all those that have been lobbying for Dennis Allen for all of the wrong reasons. And, you know, a lot of people thought when Dennis Allen becomes the head coach that everything was going to stay in place. Some people looked at this as a great thing because, well, the Saints, where did they go? 9-8 last year, right? We had a winning season. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Dennis Allen is his own man. He's not Sean Payton. He's a guy who, in his last coaching stop, was not very good. Okay, and he has to go out here and he has to make his mark because the reality is, outside of people that actually cheer for the New Orleans Saints, they are expecting this dude to fall flat on his face. And this dude wants to change that narrative. And I have absolutely no problem with that. And he wants to make sure that he puts the right pieces that he feel that are the right pieces in place in order for the Saints to move forward. And one guy that he went out and got was Doug Marrone. Doug Marrone, who spent time as the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. He got them to the AFC Championship a couple of years ago. Before he got fired. And, you know, he went to at University of Alabama. He was on the coaching staff of Nick Saban. And now Dennis Allen pulls him right back into the league. He's not going to be the offensive coordinator, but he will be working alongside the offense. And that is a good thing. That is a really good thing to have somebody like Doug Marrone. Doug Marrone is a guy who has been coaching for a very long time. He knows how to turn struggling organization and programs around, as we've seen him do on several occasions. And I think that he will be a great asset to the New Orleans Saints, and as well as the New Orleans Saints will be looking for a new offensive coordinator, because even though Pete Carmichael has decided to stay on the Saints coaching staff, he has decided that he is going to step down. I don't know if it was him or if it was a mutual agreement for him to step down as offensive coordinator. So there are a lot of names out there that people are thinking about. One name is Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is a guy who we seen with the Kansas City Chiefs alongside Andy Reid. Quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, and they have a really explosive offense out there. But we all know that Eric Bieniemy has been the guy who everybody expects to get a head coaching job year after year, and it just never pans out. And everybody is wondering why. And some people may feel that the reason why Eric Bieniemy does not get the credit as an offensive mind or an offensive genius or a guy that is a guy that can lead your offense is because of Andy Reid. And he is in the last year of his contract. If I'm not mistaken, it may even be expired. So this can be a chance for Eric Bieniemy to go somewhere else where you have a team like the New Orleans Saints whose offense is struggling, right? You know, you can go out here and you can become innovative. And if you turn the New Orleans Saints offense around, that's kind of crazy to say after all those years of offensive success, turning the Saints offense around. Wow, I never thought I'd be saying those words. But anyway, for you to come to an organization like the Saints and really put your stamp on that offense, I think a lot of people will be looking at you. But I don't know if that was discussed in a meeting. I'm pretty sure it didn't, because who wants to interview for a store manager job and hear about the assistant manager? I mean, nobody wants to hear that, right? If it happens, it happens, but treat me as if you want to hire me for that store manager position, right? That's the way I'm looking at it. But Eric Bieniemy would be a really good choice, as well as some other names that come out. A lot of guys that supposed to get interviewed. I'm looking at one person in particular, and that guy is Robert Prince. Robert Prince spent some time with the Dallas Cowboys. And also he spent the most of his time with the Detroit Lions, and he was the wide receiver coach. And he was the wide receiver coach for guys like Dez Bryant, guys like Megatron, Kelvin Johnson, also guys like Kenny Golladay. So this is a guy who knows how to bring out the best, and especially wide receivers. I mean, you know, Kenny Golladay got himself paid in New York, even though, I mean, he hasn't done anything out there, but still, I mean, the reason why he got that opportunity in New York is because what he did in Detroit, and he was coached by Robert Prince. So even though we were speaking about wide receivers, coaches, we know that, well, some of you may not know, but Curtis Johnson is leaving the New Orleans Saints as the wide receiver coach. We know that he has spent time twice, just like Dennis Allen, on the Saints coaching staff. He was there mid-2000s when Sean Payton first got there, and we know that he left to become the head coach of the Tulane Green Waves, didn't pan out, but he was able to come back to be that wide receiver coach on the Saints staff. So I'm pretty sure Curtis Johnson will land on his feet. There's a lot of guys out there that can be looking for a guy like Curtis Johnson, a really aggressive guy that can push things out of you. We know that he meant a lot to guys like Marcus Colston and Lance Moore and and Devery Henderson, bringing the best out of some of those guys. So Robert Prince is interviewing for the offensive coordinator job, justifiably so. This guy has really been doing a really good job around the National Football League, and he deserves an opportunity. Now, I don't know if he will get that opportunity, but he deserves to be talked to. And speaking of the offense, we got to talk about the draft. We got to talk about the NFL draft, because there are a lot of individuals out here who feel that the New Orleans Saints need to go quarterback in the first round. Okay. And we all know that in this year's draft, everybody's talking about how, the NFL draft this year is probably the weakest for quarterbacks. So nobody's really talking about quarterbacks, right? Nobody's really talking about, guys like Kenny Pickett, guys like Matt Carroll. Nobody's really talking about those guys because they don't expect for these guys to be elite. I just think that depend on the situation. You never know what a guy is going to do. A guy can look a certain way in college, then they get to the pro, the light come on, and then they have one hell of a career. Okay. a la Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Romo. You know what I'm saying? Like guys that don't come with a lot of fanfare, but they carved out a niche for themselves. So I see a lot of people talking about Matt Carroll, the quarterback out of Ole Miss. Some people feel like he would be a good fit for the New Orleans Saints, being that quarterback, being a leader, guy that's able to improvise, move around, throw the ball down the field. Exciting, right? We love ourselves some exciting. We love a moving quarterback. We love a guy that can roll out, and the excitement happens when the pocket breaks down, right? We love that. But if I were the New Orleans Saints, I'm looking at a wide receiver. I am. I'm looking at a wide receiver, and I understand that this is Dennis Allen's team, and a lot of us are kind of changing the way that we think because we understand that it's Dennis Allen's team. But still, I mean, you need yourself a quarterback, and you need yourself a quarterback right now. Okay, you don't need or want at this particular time a quarterback who is going to take some time to develop, because you have to look at the defensive side of the ball and how some of your cornerstone guys are starting to age. You got guys like Cameron Jordan who are in their 30s. You got guys like Demario Davis who are in their 30s. You got some of these guys on the defensive line, they're starting to get up there in age, and you got your defense in its prime, and you don't want to squander that, okay? You already squandered it last season because of all the things that transpired with the injuries and all of the problems that the Saints faced. You had a championship defense last season, but you didn't have a signal caller. You didn't have a guy who can go out there and sling that ball down the field. Now, if it was me, this is just me saying, I don't know about you, but me, if Jameis Winston would have been the quarterback all season long, the Saints would have made the playoffs. And hell, who knows where the Saints would have been? I'm looking at the playoffs. I'm looking at some of these teams that were in the playoffs. And I must say, who that nation? None of these teams wowed me at all. There was no team that I just sat up there and just said, man, this team is just virtually unstoppable. And I said that at the beginning of the season and midway through the season. Like, you look at some of these teams in the NFC. I mean, the Saints beat the brakes, off the Green Bay Packers. They beat the brakes off Tampa. You know what I'm saying? Like, who to say that they couldn't beat the Rams? Who say they couldn't beat the 49ers? I mean, it could have been, it was possible. So if the Saints would have got themselves into the playoffs, who knows what would have happened? And I just think that Jameis Winston is the guy for the job. I understand how people may feel about the dude. I understand that we like new and shiny things, but I also understand that we as fans of the National Football League, we give up on guys too quickly. We give up on guys. We don't give guys the benefit of the doubt. We look at other sports. I say this all the freaking time. We look at other sports and we give guys a chance to develop. If a guy has 1 or 2 years and it doesn't look like he's going to be elite or he's going to be a special talent, or you feel like, oh man, there's nothing you can do with it, then we just kind of just throw the guy away. We don't look at the situation that they're in. We don't look at the coaching. We don't look at the organization. We don't look at the front office. We don't look at any of those things. We're just so quick to write people off when we don't like them, or they do something we don't like, or they have some growing pains. Jameis Winston in a Saints uniform looked pretty doggone good. And I just think that a lot of people are still in the back of their minds wondering to themselves, well, is he going to be that Tampa Bay Jameis? And some of us don't really just think that this guy has what it takes. I don't buy into the media propaganda. I understand that the media has their picks and their favorites. I understand that the media likes to create narratives so they can continue to write in order to line their pockets. Not everybody, but some of them really do. You know what I'm saying? Some of them really do this. They create these narratives. They find their guy and they just try to just destroy them. You know what I'm saying? Feel like they just damaged goods. They, just throw them out of here. That's just how it works. Jameis Winston is the right choice for the New Orleans Saints. You can build around this guy. And then on top of that, you have a guy who has the NFL slowed down for him. You don't have to worry about a guy trying to figure it out around year 2, year 3, and you have your cornerstone players going into, like towards the end of their careers. Okay, so let's just be honest and try to get ourselves a wide receiver. Get somebody like, another running back that can complement Alvin Kamara, or based on Alvin Kamara's situation, Maybe getting somebody that can catch the ball out of backfield with a little wiggle and run between the tackles like he can. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to move this around. Let's try to make our defense a little bit more physical. I understand you got Peyton Turner. You know, I mean, understand he kind of had a little bit of a red shirt year. He showed some flashes. I mean, you also got Marcus Davenport. The light finally came on for him. And then you had Cam Jordan playing out his doggone mind. Now, I would expect for the Saints maybe to get themselves another interior lineman, somebody that can go alongside David Onyemata, that can help with that run support. I don't know if Peyton Turner, they're going to use him as the outside and inside guy. I like also what the Saints did throughout the season by putting Davenport on the outside and the inside. But if you can get yourself a physical guy at the defensive tackle position alongside David Onyemata, I think that would be a good fit. But you have to make sure that you're getting some playmakers. You got to make sure that you put a team around whoever you decide as the quarterback. You got to put a team around them. And if you don't, then we're going to be in the same situation over and over again. I like Callaway. I think that he's solid. You know, I like Deontay Hardy. He's solid. You know what I'm saying? I like some of these guys that they have. But, I mean, you got Michael Thomas coming back, but you need another dog at the number 2 wide receiver position. So that's what I think the Saints need to look for. I just think if you're going quarterback, then you're really just trying to you might as well just call this thing a rebuild. And I don't think the Saints are a bad team. I mean, this wasn't a firing that we seen a couple weeks ago. We seen a coach step down. Okay, you rarely ever see that in the National Football League. But regardless, I hope that the New Orleans Saints find the right pieces, rather it be the coaching staff as well as the players on the field. I would love to see the Saints light up the scoreboard like they once did in the past. And I would love to see the Saints be able to make stops and get off the field on third down. I think that whoever you put at the quarterback position is going to be the deciding factor to me. If the Saints are just a middle of the pack team or they're a playoff team and beyond. But I would love to hear from you. What do you think about the Saints, coaching staff making changes to the coaching staff? What do you think about the Saints NFL draft? Do you think they need to go quarterback, or do you think that they need to find themselves a veteran, a seasoned veteran for the long haul? Comment down below, like and share this video. This has been the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for allowing the State of the Saints podcast to be a part of your listening pleasure. And also, if you have not already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Also, facebook.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. And also previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, and also officially a part of the Pigskin Podcast Network. Till next time, all I got to